Hello everyone. Today I'm going to show you the new secondary Encumber arcane. It is the one thing that caught my eye the most when looking at the new patch and what came with it. I even forgoed farming the Warframe and the weapons, and as soon as I could I farmed the arcane. So what it is this secondary arcane, and you put it on any secondary weapon, and when it applies a status effect, like if you proc viral, then you have a 24% chance of triggering a second random status effect. So this will just make it so your galvanized aptitude on your weapons and galvanized shot on your secondary weapons, say this one, they'll do more damage. And then also for like a melee primer on condition overload, just more damage, just free damage using the Epitaph or Kuva using the meta primers. I say this will just be good to add on to there because there's really no reason to use anything else besides maybe like dexterity to give yourself a little bit more melee time, melee combo duration. But yeah, this is just a lot of status effects. I don't have blast on my weapon. Wait, maybe the Epitaph already does that, but I don't have toxin. I don't have corrosive. Just it's gonna be a good time using this. Just more damage, free damage. But on top of that, a lot of weapons are now primers. I am working on using this Bronco for a build. The Bronco has some utility with its dizzying rounds where you can open up enemies for finishers, and you also get some status chance. And if you use a big status build like this, with just status, multi-shot, and then this is just to reload quicker, you're gonna get a lot of status procs on an enemy with this new arcane. So just empty the clip, and I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 different status on an enemy, and this is not even the best thing. I don't even think the Epitaph or the Kuva is going to be the best primer for galvanized shot and galvanized aptitude anymore. I think a weapon like this Twin Stubba is going to be the new primer for just getting damage on a single target, like a demolisher or something like that. The Epitaph and Kuva are obviously better AoE primers, no doubt. But you can put this build on any weapon that has reasonably high status. Let's say this weapon has 31%, and then it has really good fire rate. So any weapon that has great status, or good status even, and then a decent amount of fire rate or multi-shot will just become a new primer. You can use any weapon that you want to use as a primer as long as you throw this arcane on. And this absolutely gets insane. It is way better at priming a single enemy. So yeah, that's like all the status effects in the game. That's so many. I used like 40 bullets. And this is without a Riven. You can get a Riven, more status chance, more fire rate. I would, if I had room, I would just get rid of this Scorch Mod because it's giving me 15% status, put on more fire rate, and you'll be able to fully prime an enemy in like moments and just delete them. So truly just any weapon becomes a primer. Like my Embolist, I have viral and heat on this. Let me take off heat. You don't even need a different amount of status effects. It's still, as long as you proc viral to refresh it, it still gives you another random status effect. So you can see here that I'm just going to build up a bunch of status effects really quick with this, just because it's multi-shot, fire rate, and status. Yeah. And all I have is viral. So you just want to put on viral to guarantee you get the viral procs, and then just go crazy. Same build on a Pox with a Riven that gives me some more status chance. This thing's kind of funny, because it just sits here and builds up more status over time. I still don't think the Pox is going to be very good, but it's pretty sick. It's something I can do now. Maradetron with just a status build. Just dump a mag, and there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 status effects. And then the Kuva, which I don't really have a build for. I've never really built it, but same status build idea. And even with all these builds, you don't even need to have any forma on it. Just use a potato, and you're good. So you can see this builds it up pretty quickly too. Honestly, that's probably one of the best goes I've had with it on the RNG. Usually it takes a little bit longer to build up. But honestly, the Kuva seems like it'll be one of the best too, along with high fire rate weapons. So yeah, I'm really happy that I got this arcane. It's going to save a lot of trouble, especially with damage on endgame missions, you're not going to need to put on like a Warframe arcane to get any damage out of your weapons. But something like Arcane Arachne, where you have to lash into a wall to get 125% damage, that's literally just 2 procs, 2 more status effects on any weapon, and you're going to get that easy. Same with Arcane Fury for melee damage. Your Condition Overload is going to already cover that with getting the new status effects. Rage, Headshot, more damage on primary weapons. Again, that's just 2 procs of a new status. So after you're done farming the Warframe and the weapons and anything else you want, I highly suggest getting this Arcane. I highly suggest, if you haven't even started farming it, I highly suggest that even if you haven't started farming for anything, to just farm the Arcane first, because you're going to have to buy so much of the Arcane that you're going to get a lot of the weapon and the Warframe in the long run. So then you can go back and start farming for the Warframe, and you'll need to buy way less parts to get the Warframe and weapons, because you'll get some from just doing the mission itself, and you'll basically get 0 Arcanes ever. So just buy the Arcanes, you'll have more weapon and Warframe parts to start off with when you start farming them. But farm whatever you want, whatever order. That's just my recommendation, because I highly suggest you get this, because it's just going to be more damage on builds that use Galvanized Aptitude and Galvanized Shot and Condition Overload, which is like every endgame build in the game. So yeah, if you enjoyed this, go ahead, comment, like, subscribe, whatever you want. See ya.